let's inspire our country with ideas, stories, and a commitment to a better world of work. And now, with that, I'd like to begin with the opening keynote. And the topic is very, very interesting. It is how to unlock potential and ignite possibilities through the power of human connection. So in today's fast-paced, high-pressure workplace, leaders are facing a growing challenge. Disengagement, quiet quitting, performance plateaus. Well, let's put our hands together and welcome Sha Nacino is a global on stage. She's the global authority on human connection and compassionate leadership. She's also a former adjunct faculty at the Asian Institute of Management, a two-time TEDx speaker, and an award-winning author of 15 books. She was recently named as one of the top 30 motivational speakers in the world by global gurus alongside Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, and Les Brown. And she's the only one from the Philippines and Asia to make the list. So on that note, she has a decade of experience. She has delivered in-person keynotes across Asia, Europe, North America, Middle East. So if you want to learn how to unlock your team's potential through the power of human connection, let's once again give a very huge round of applause to Sha. Sha, thank you so much for joining us and glad to have you.
Thank you, Yasmin. Can you look at the person beside you, smile at that person? If you're seated beside a woman, can you please tell her, you look blooming today? And if you're seated beside a man, can you please tell him, you look kind? Is it possible to create a workplace culture where everyone is so excited to go to work, the engagement level is so high, and the productivity is very high as well? Is that possible? But here's the problem we're dealing with. According to Gallup, only 21% of employees worldwide are engaged. In the Philippines, the data is a bit better, 35%. Still, it means that 65% of employees are disengaged. And you feel the symptoms. Quiet meetings, quiet quitting, poor performance. And as leaders, this can cause us a lot of stress. Because at the end of the day, we still need to produce results, right? And so we push, we strategize. But what if the solution is not more strategy, but more humanity? What if the solution is not more push, but more connection? Let me take you back to when I was still working in a bank. As a fresh graduate, I joined a multinational bank, and my first work was in the customer service department of the bank. On the 30th day of the month, there is this group of annoying clients from Company X who would call us up and power trip us. And I heard from my more senior colleagues that this has been happening for so many years already. One day, I received that type of call. What was supposed to be a 2-minute call dragged on for 10. And at the end of the call, I was so frustrated and furious, and I was fuming. And I had to self-regulate. So I went to my leader and said, "Sir, I just got off a toxic call, and I heard that this has been happening for years. Can we please do something about it?" My leader didn't even look at me. He was busy typing, and he said, "Sha, we're in customer service. We need to be patient." And I walked away feeling like, oh, so that's how it feels to be on the receiving end of what feels like a canned response. A month later, that leader was transferred to another department, and we had a new leader. And on the 30th day of the month, as if on cue, I received the same type of call. Same thing happened, 2 minutes dragged on for 10. So I went to our new leader and said, "Ma'am, I just got off a toxic call," and then I shared what happened. "Can we please do something about it?" My leader stopped what she was doing, looked at me and said, "Sha, give me the time of the call. I'll review the recording." And then she stood up and told the team, "Anyone else who received those calls from Company X, send me the time of the calls. I'll review the recording." I walked away feeling like, wow, that was different. I felt like I mattered. I felt seen. And here's what happened a month later. Number one, those annoying calls that have bothered us for years stopped completely. The service levels drastically rose from 65% to 95%, so much so that the entire region recognized our team. And the third thing that was so palpable was the engagement. I and my team members, my teammates, had a very strong sense of ownership over our work. We did not need more strategy. We did not need more push. We just needed more humanity. We just needed to feel seen. And seen is the highest level of human connection. So I developed this framework called the 4 levels of human connection. The first level is the surface level. Hi, hello, oh, what's for lunch? The second level is supportive. This is my work, that is your work, let's do our job well. The third level is what we call safe or psychologically safe environment. This is where team members actually share their insights during meetings, and not just insights, but also their struggles, without fear of being judged. And the highest level of human connection is what I call seen. This is where team members feel that they truly matter in the organization. Their most basic needs are being met. And this is the zone where you can unlock potential and ignite possibilities in your organization. Status quo leaders, they stop at the supportive and surface levels. It takes fearless leaders to create cultures where everyone feels safe and seen. I believe that there is no shortage of talents. We are surrounded by high performers. The person beside you is a high performer. A couple of years ago, I attended an annual event, and the CEO gave his opening remarks. And this was how he delivered his opening remarks. He took out a piece of paper. Hi everyone, good morning. I'm really happy to be here. And I was evaluating his speech. Was it well written? Yes. Was it well organized? Yes. Was I connecting with him? What do you think? And he might have been judged by the people listening to his speech. He could be a very brilliant leader, but he might have been judged because he did not deliver his speech with executive gravitas, and he was not connecting with the audience. But I saw that leader, I saw that CEO, and I know that he does not lack communication skills. He just needs to feel seen. So I had a vision. I want to help CEOs and C-suite leaders deliver speeches from the heart. Later on, I was invited to be an adjunct faculty and program director at the Asian Institute of Management, and I developed a program called The Eloquent Leader. After just 5 sessions, the C-suite leaders went from reading their notes, which their staff might have prepared for them, to delivering speeches that they themselves have written and delivering those speeches from the heart. I did not make them better communicators. They were already great communicators. I just helped them feel seen, and I just helped them unlock the gift that is already within them. So maybe the question now is, how can I make my team members feel seen? My tip is to start listening and appreciating, which leads me to my next story. I did a leadership development program for a Fortune 500 company. And one of the leaders said that she feels so stressed out whenever she needs to correct a team member because the team gets so defensive. And so I explained to her the psychology between what employees want and what leaders want. Employees, they want to feel safe, seen, appreciated. Leaders, I know at the end of the day, we want results. But for us to get the results that we want, we need to address those basic needs first. So I shared the method that I developed, which I call the 3-1-1 method. So yes, there is something that needs to be corrected, but before you go to the one correction you need to make, first, offer 3 genuine appreciations to make the team member feel seen, and offer the thing that needs correction, and end it with an offer for support. How can I support you? So it's going to be a very productive meeting, conversation. A month later, we had our check-in, and the leader told me that she used to only call out what wasn't working. But after the session, she started recognizing the good. And the team became less defensive and more motivated. When you make people feel seen, you not only unlock their potential, you not only ignite possibilities for your organization, but you can even make the seemingly impossible possible. Okay, let's take a look at another case study. Singing. May I see a raise of hands? Who among you here love to sing? Okay. I also love to sing. Ever since I was young, I feel so alive whenever I sing. But every time I sing, my family, friends, and mentors would tell me out of love, Sha, can you please do us a favor? Please don't sing. Because apparently, if there were 4 singing voices based on our alto and soprano, mine was sintonado. I couldn't carry a tune. And so I gave up my dream to become a singer. And then one day, I met someone in a coffee shop, busy coffee shop, and he said, Sha, please sing. Wow. That was the first time someone asked me to sing. And so I stood up and sang. And then I sat down. And then he said this, Sha, you have a beautiful voice. You are meant to sing. And I almost fell off my chair. What voice did he listen to? Why was everyone telling me to stop singing? It so happened that he was a voice coach, a singing coach. And so I listened to him. And the magic happened. The impossible became possible. Suddenly, I can hear notes. And on November 2019, I had my debut as a singer, live singer, in front of 400 people at the Global Authors Summit. While I was singing, I saw that some people were crying and I wondered why. I learned later on that it was because they were so moved by the words. Fast forward to today, with all humility, I'm now a recording artist. Okay, yes, you may clap. Thank you so much. Correction, international recording artist. I've performed in and directed 31 music videos so far, shot in Boracay, Bohol, France, Netherlands, and Switzerland. And I just did this for fun, just to let my inner child play. It only took one person to unlock the world-class singer in me. So imagine what you can do. You have the power to unlock potential and ignite possibilities in your organization. Are you working alongside geniuses and high performers who are just waiting to be seen? What if you begin seeing them and appreciating them? So I have one final closing thought before I end. But before that, may I see a raise of hands? How many are you learned a thing or two so far? Okay, great. Thank you so much. So what happens when we constantly criticize or ignore someone? Is there really science behind appreciation? That's what I wanted to find out. And so I did what I call the apple experiment. On January 23, 2025, I took out 3 apples. And I labeled the first apple, I appreciate you. The second apple, what's wrong with you? And the third apple, unseen. And every day for the next 1.5 months, I would take out the first 2 apples. And then the first apple, I would say, I appreciate you. Then the second apple, what's wrong with you? And I completely ignored the third apple. In the first 1.5 months, it seems like nothing was happening. And then I traveled. On May 14, 2025, I looked back at those apples and I was so blown away by what I saw. Are you ready? The first 2 apples that I constantly criticized and ignored became rotten apples. The apple that I appreciated thrived. That is the power of words. That is your power. Don't let your employees turn into rotting apples. If you want them to thrive, start by appreciating people more. Start by making people feel more seen. In this day and age, it's no longer enough to be status quo leaders. Status quo leaders, yes, you may get the job done. You may even get the job done excellently well. But that is not enough. In this age of AI, and in this age wherein the business landscape is rapidly changing, it's not enough to be status quo leaders and get your job done. We need to innovate. Because if we don't, we might wake up one day and we discover that our business is obsolete. Think of Nokia, Kodak, and Friendster. We need fearless leaders who can create a culture where people feel safe and seen, and thereby unlocking potential and igniting possibilities in the organization. And we can start that by listening and appreciating more. May I invite everyone to please stand. Okay, and as you stand, can you just look around and appreciate all the beautiful women and the kind men around you? Okay, can we also just take time to appreciate how beautiful this event is, and to take time to appreciate the hard work of the organizers, the economic times, the tech crew, the hotel staff, everyone who's here. And yes, give them a round of applause. Leaders, I see you. I appreciate you. This is Sha Nacino, and let's unlock fearless possibilities in your company. Thank you.